These last 2 weeks have been incredibly intense from my perspective as a content creator. If you didn't know this, I've been involved in Raid Clash of the Creators tournament for the last 2 weeks, where we have been taking on other content creators in a 2-week tournament playing Raid Shadow Legends. And I'm happy to say that the results are finally in and we get to see who has won. There were, of course, 5 teams of 2 content creators in total, and I was blessed to be signed up with Arnold's T101, the wonderful gentleman himself, as part of Team 3. We can also see some other familiar faces here kicking around and the other content creators that have joined us. As of about 12 hours ago, we had the final tally of the scores down here, and we can see that Team 3, Arnold and myself, have secured victory as the ultimate winners of the Raid Clash of Creators tournament, and I am flipping stoked to say that we managed to do that. That was absolutely huge. It really came down to the wire right at the end. And honestly, a big part of it is a shout out to you guys, the community. The only reason we were able to clinch victory here is because of all of you playing at home. I had a really fantastic time playing Raid. I really enjoyed it. It was intense. The competition was fierce. Loved it. If you guys would like to come and play Raid Shadow Legends, please do use the link in the description down below or scan my QR code up above, and you'll be able to get a really good head start. And that head start includes amazing legendary units, okay? So you will get Tholin Foulbeard straight away, and this guy carried me hard throughout the campaign. Hits like an absolute truck. Great inside of the Demon Lord raid boss. This guy dominates. You can see I've actually stripped away some of his artifacts because I've used that to put other characters to beat dungeons, namely the spider dungeon at the top tier. That thing was insane. Once you get to level 10, you're going to be unlocking Tagore. When you get to level 20, you're going to be unlocking Miscreated Monster, and at level 30, you will be unlocking Stag Knight over here. All of these characters, really top tier. I will say, make sure you guys get Pelops as well. All right, you can use a legendary code over here. If you go to the side, straight into promo codes, use the code RAID7. That will immediately give you a free Pelops. And like I was saying, with Tholin, this guy over here, pair him up with Pelops. That duo will carry throughout the entirety of all of Brutal campaign. All 3 stars, just duoing it all the way up. Fantastic units, gives you a massive head start. The only thing I will say with Pelops though, ladies and gentlemen, you have to do that code within the first 48 hours of playing, otherwise it won't work. So straight away, use the code RAID7. First thing you do. Boom. So the point I want to highlight over here is that each team that was going on in this tournament had a various set of challenges that we had to complete in order to earn points. As you can see down here, campaign mode, the maximum points that we could achieve here was 52,800. We managed to max that out, and so did Team 5. They were the close competitors to us in this one. Then it was completing Arbiter missions, going through and completing 130 Arbiter missions. Everybody managed to cap that out completely. Then it was the various dungeons. There are 4 dungeons in this game that we had to go through and complete at the highest level. Every single tier of difficulty, from normal 1 to normal 25, rewarded us with points. Obviously, the higher up you go, the more value the points are. The maximum you could achieve from any of those was 52,920, and we maxed out each and every single one of them. So did Mobile Gamers team over here, apart from the Spider Den, and so did Team 5. They maxed everything out, and they maxed it out the quickest. All right. So as you can see, the maximum points that we could score as creators was 361,880 points right there. And we managed to go tie to tie with Team 5 there. Mobile Gamers team only missed out on about 4,500 points, I want to say, from not beating the final tier of Spider's Den. All right. Okay, then we had the community points, and this is where it really pulled away, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, we got 145,800 points, which is just absolutely dwarfed everybody else's competition in terms of community engagement. So a big part of it is you people at home getting involved, going out there, smashing out those Arbiter missions, beating enemies within the arena, and leveling up your accounts. You guys did phenomenally well. So thank you so much for your participation here. You guys are awesome. And there is a big part of the community that joined in for this tournament that were new to Raid, and they are sticking with it. They're all getting together on the Discord, and they're forming up a new clan, and they're all playing together to keep these accounts going for the long run. So really good to see that the community really bit into this, and obviously we absolutely smashed it. Now, big shout out to Team 5. These guys dominated the competition in terms of PvE engagement. They were the first to beat the clan boss on the easy difficulty and the first to beat the clan boss Demon Lord on nightmare difficulty, earning themselves an extra 10,000 points. These guys absolutely smashed it, and they won week 1. They were ahead the entire time. Like I said, the only thing that got us back in the game is our community engagement, you guys at home. So what can I say about Raid Shadow Legends? What did I like about it, and what would I like to see more of in the future? I'll be honest, what I really liked about it is the level of theorycraft. Okay, like the level of theorycraft that goes into not only which units you use, but also how you gear and equip these characters using your artifacts really has a tangible impact on how you perform in every single game mode. For example, if you're going in and you're taking on things like the clan bosses, you really do need to have a different team, a different approach, and potentially even different gearing on your champions in order to take down the different clan bosses. That then will also translate into how do we take on the various dungeons that exist. And there are a lot of dungeons, and each of them award different focused areas. For example, the Dragon's Lair will give you artifacts. These are your gearing, essentially. They'll award you certain artifacts and certain typings that will help you in the interim. For example, getting a good speed set, really, really handy, as speed is so pivotally important in these turn-based games, right? The faster you go, the more turns that you take, the better off you're going to be. But also things like accuracy. Being able to land your debuffs is so important, especially when you're trying to take on those higher levels. So constantly striving to get better and better equipment, and then funneling that back into your team to make them even better than they were previously was a really enjoyable experience. And Spider's Den, for example, was the one that you needed to get certain types of artifacts. It's the only way that you can get these rings, amulets, and banners for your champions. So you have to be able to take on the Spider, but in order to take on Spider, you need to have the good equipment. So you farm the dragon to get gear to then be able to beat Spider's Den, and you progress and progress and progress. And as you sort of round out your team and you round out all your equipment, you're able to progress further and get better and better gear. I think that the way they balanced the gameplay loop was actually really, really good. And it was an enjoyable grind. As a guy that's played RPGs for years, it was kind of my introduction to gaming, was playing old games like Final Fantasy and that sort of thing. I really enjoy grinding, just generally speaking. Right? Anybody that's played RPGs knows it's a core part of the game, is going out there, getting stronger and stronger, improving your skills, your levels, your abilities, your champions, etc, etc. And I think Raid really nailed that, okay? The way they do it is just by giving you a large variety of different PvE elements to engage with that give you different rewards, something that you can chip away with gradually over time. Now, the parts that I didn't enjoy so much were the starring up of champions. It's a bit grindy and a little bit too much, especially early on. If you're trying to max out your champions, you do really have to get to the end of at least Brutal in the campaign to find a spot that is actually effective at farming EXP for your characters, building them up in order to get them to 6-star level 60 at the end. That part wasn't as fun, but ultimately for this Raid Championship, this tournament, we were given such powerful legendary units and epic units as part of the event that we didn't really have to get a big, broad roster. We could focus really heavily on a few of those champions and then try to get additional characters here and there, which would flex or have certain tech within their kit that allowed us to take on certain campaigns. So for example, one of the key units for me that really made a tangible difference was I managed to pull a Lysandra over here, and she's got really good turn meter control mechanics as well as an aura which allows you to have additional speed. So she was absolutely pivotal for me, being able to grind out very difficultly the top tier of the Spider Clan boss, and that clearly made a difference in the end score for us as well. So Lysandra was a brilliant pull, but also things like, Stag Knight being an epic unit that we got for free was really, really good. Getting Armiger over here, this guy was awesome. This guy, he is a uncommon, easily, you could buy him from the market for really cheap. I think it was like 4,000 silver. You could get him really, really cheap and available, and you're just able to use him to turn me to control some of the dungeon bosses. That gives you a real tangible advantage and lets you progress. It is sort of a game of lots of tiny little steps to try and improve your performance. And having things like this, that it's not just like everything is get a legendary unit, get an epic unit and star them up, and that's all you'll ever need. No, there's a depth of characters that all have viability that you wouldn't expect in certain other games, right? Obviously, the other thing about legendary units is their skills. They are hard to level up their skills, and sometimes you need high level skills in order to perform well. The reason they're difficult is because you need legendary books, and legendary books or duplicates of the champions is really hard to come by. It's really hard to come by, whereas, you know, units like Armiger over here, he's only an uncommon, so he doesn't need to have legendary books. You can easily get duplicates of him. You can get, you know, just uncommon books to level up his skills and max him out. I was able to max out his skills immediately as soon as I got him. I was like, that's nice and easy. And then he's able to outperform other units that might actually be statistically better. So this was, I really enjoyed the theory crafting side of it. I really enjoyed being able to go out there and figure out the puzzle of each boss, right? Figure out the puzzle, know exactly what I need to do in order to get there. Even if I wasn't using ideal units, we were still able to get it done. But ultimately down here, seeing as though we did win the ultimate prize, we won the overall tournament, we have got $3,000 that Arnold and I was able to gift out to the community that took part in this event. So if you were part of it, let me know in the Discord, and once we've decided how we're going to distribute these rewards, we will be able to give them out to the community as a thank you. So thank you so much, guys. I really hope you enjoyed, and from what I gather, based on the feedback that I've had within my community, within the community Discord server that we had set up, it seems like it was a pretty positive experience for everybody involved. So I just want to say once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for joining with me on this 2-week journey. It's been an absolute blast. I've really thoroughly enjoyed it. And if you are interested in giving Raid Shadow Legends a try, go ahead, download from the link in the description down below, or scan my QR code and just get cracking. You can get some amazing legendary units really, really early on that will make that early progress so easy and beneficial in the long run. Amazing! If you could do me a favor, guys, and just hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the very next video. Peace out and big love.